You've probably heard all the hype about Forex Robots, but is it actually legit or is it just another scam? Today, we're going to discover the truth behind Forex Robots. Now, for those of you who don't know who I am and you're wondering what authority do I have to speak about Forex in general, well, I've been in the Forex industry for about 5 years now, and I've made hundreds of thousands of dollars in profit in the Forex industry. I've been teaching Forex for the past 3 years as well, as you can take a look at my YouTube and check the history out there. And we've been teaching people how to manually trade. We've also been teaching people very complex concepts such as the footprints chart. So it's safe to say that I know my stuff in Forex. Now, recently, a year, I've moved on completely from trading manually to trading fully automated strategies. And the reason I've done so is it allows me to free up a lot of my time while I can actually focus on working on my other businesses. It's very important that I don't spend hours and hours every single day trying to analyze the charts. But the problem with this industry is there is a lot of scams. And let's get into the first thing that most people usually encounter. First and foremost, people usually go into robot trading with the incorrect mindset. They have very unrealistic expectations. A lot of people go in, they buy a robot, and a lot of time what happens is once they buy the robot, they get absolutely no support whatsoever. They get told that the robot is set and forget. They deploy it on their account, it works for a little bit, and then it doesn't. So there's usually a couple of issues with that sort of a concept. First and foremost, most people think that robots are set and forget. That, guys, is not possible, because you have to understand, what is a Forex robot at the end of the day? A Forex robot is simply an automated piece of code that basically has if conditional statements, that if a certain thing happens in the market, then you execute a trade based off of this, etc. So it's just an automated strategy. So the first problem is a lot of strategies are not profitable. Just like manual trading strategies are usually not profitable. If you don't have a profitable manual trading strategy, then you can't automate it. So you need to actually have a manual profitable strategy first before you go ahead and automate it. And most of the robots currently on the market are not profitable because they don't have profitable strategies. The next problem is that most of these robots run on one strategy and the strategy is never optimized. So we all understand that the market goes through different cycles, especially the people that have been trading Forex markets for a very long time. You understand that the market goes through multiple different cycles. So sometimes every single pair will have its own behavior, and then a couple of months down the line or a couple of weeks down the line, the market conditions end up changing. And the problem with that is it means that automated strategy that you've done and you've optimized it to one single market condition, the minute that the market condition shifts, what ends up happening is that you eventually start becoming an unprofitable trader. And this is the most common thing when it comes to Forex robots, and something that you must be very diligent about. Remember, most robots win until they don't. So what is usually the way to actually fix that? The way to fix that is that you need to understand there's no such a thing as 100% automated set and forget systems. Never. There's never such a thing, because the robot constantly has to be optimized. There's settings that have to be constantly optimized depending on, of course, the strategy first and foremost. And you also have to be able to apply technical and fundamental analysis to the market to be able to determine if today is actually a good day to run the robot or not. Because of course, depending on the volatility, depending on the range of the market, multiple other aspects that you have to consider. Now, the problem with that is it beats the purpose, right, of actually owning a robot. That's the unfortunate truth of it. The robot can actually be 85% automated, in my opinion. But that other 15% is being able to pick and choose when you apply the robot in the correct market conditions. Now, unfortunately, there's really not much robots out there that actually provide such a service for you. But for example, in the robot that we use, the QTS 2.0, we've developed something called the dynamic optimization protocol, meaning that our developer sends in to our clients on a day-to-day basis the inputs and optimizations that you have to actually tweak on a day-to-day basis, which usually takes less than 5 minutes. It's only 3 numbers that you have to change. And that is imperative to the robot's success and consistency, because it takes a very long time for a robot to make any mistakes whatsoever when you actually have optimized settings depending on the market conditions. And this is the reason why we're able to stay very consistent with robots. So this is something that really you must look out for, regardless of if you're buying my robot or if you're looking at other robots. This is something that you really want to consider. Does the robot company that you're looking to buy from, do they have something similar to the dynamic optimization protocol that we have, that is constantly optimized or tweaked? And if not, do you have the time to be able to actually analyze and assess the market yourself and tweak tweak the robot yourself, even learn how to tweak the robot yourself. See guys, I'll tell you why most robots don't even have that dynamic optimization protocol, right? And once again, it's just a fancy word of being provided with the support and what settings to tweak. The reason being is it's a legal scam, right? These robot providers that sell you a robot 1 to 2 to 3K, what they usually do is they'll give you the robot for cheap, but they give you the responsibility completely on you. And sometimes they'll give you a set file, but most of the time that's where the support ends. And I know a lot of people have reached out and they've told me these exact stories. I've personally been through before when I first started my automated journey. And you reach out to the robot provider and yeah, it's all cool until you send the payment and you receive the robot and the support is just non-existent. And that is the problem. That is the biggest problem with robot sellers these days. They give you that robot with absolutely no knowledge. Why? They tell you to figure it out, they tell you to learn it so that the responsibility is on you. So when the responsibility is on you, when you blow an account or whatever happens and you come to them, they'll be like, yo, it's not our problem. You didn't optimize the robot correctly. You didn't do this correctly. You should have did this. You should have tweaked it like that. And the funny part is you can't really say much because they'll always have some other client that's like, oh, look at our other clients. They're performing very, very well. Well, if they ever have a batch of 50-50, some clients are performing good, some clients aren't performing bad, most of the time, that's not a good system. If their system was truly good, then pretty much 90% of the clients should be doing well. So these are statistics that you have to ask yourself. And be very, very wary and be very, very careful with robots that provide MyFX books. Because yes, MyFX books are great, but MyFX books can be definitely 100% faked. So a lot of time what they'll do is they'll have their own broker or they'll partner up with a broker and a broker will just give fake data and it will just make the robot look like it's been profitable. So be very, very careful about that. So if you are ever looking at robots and you're trying to judge if the robot is true or not, I personally would focus on client testimonials. In my opinion, that's a lot more effective than just MyFX books. For the simple fact is if you can like reach out to these people, you want to be able to find like videos of these clients, try to reach out to the clients, try to find some sort of way to contact the clients and actually verify if the results are real or not. Because once again, a lot of people fake the results, a lot of people fake the MyFX books. MyFX books are great, but be very, very careful. And here's a tip to know if a MyFX book are fake or not. If on all their accounts that they provided you that the broker is always the same and it's some broker that just you never heard of before, most of the time it's fake. But if the broker is verified, you know who the broker is and all the different MyFX books are usually different brokers, then most of the time you can be sure that that is going to be a real MyFX book. But yeah guys, be very, very careful about this. I do definitely think that robots can be legit. It's not more so about are robots legit, are robots not legit. It's more so which robots are legit and which robots aren't. And I would say 90% in the industry currently are scams. To answer most people's question, robots are going to be the future, guys. I mean, hedge funds use them. I actually have hedge fund friends that actually run hedge funds, so I know exactly the ins and outs of how these systems work, and they're all quant systems. And they don't run one robot, by the way. They run like hundreds of different algos and robots. And in fact, 15 to 20% of their whole portfolios may be manual traders. Manual traders, very few manual traders are actually profitable, because you have to think about manual trading. It's not just actually figuring out how to find a profitable strategy, but even when you do that, then you have the emotional aspect. At least with robot trading, all you have to figure out is just having a good strategy. The emotional aspect of it usually isn't really a problem because you have the robot taking decisions on your behalf. So if we know that hedge funds are usually profitable, right? If we know that hedge funds are usually profitable and they use automated systems, it usually makes sense for us to piggyback off kind of the success that they have as well, and for us to be able to use automated systems as well. I mean, it's clear evidence, it's clear proof that if they're using it, then it must be the thing that's working. It's not to say that manual trading isn't, but manual trading is extremely difficult because you have to spend hours and hours upon hours, first and foremost learning it, then trading, then trying to find opportunity, then managing your trade. It's a massive, massive hassle. Now, you also must be very, very realistic about robots, because there's no such robot that's going to make you an absolute millionaire. Everything's relative. The more capital you have, the more money that you make. But once again, you are trading in the Forex markets. There is chances that, you can lose money. And that's another thing that you really, really need to be careful about, and check what the risk management, how the robot manages risk. Does it avoid news? Does it take trades during news? Does it have news filters? What's the way that it usually trades? What's the recommended lot sizes, etc.? These are very, very important things. And at the end of the day, it's all about the education support that you receive. I think that's the most important thing. I think a tool in itself is useless without the knowledge on how to actually use it. So you want to be able to look at the actual tools, the resources provided, the courses provided, the daily support that the team behind the robot gives you. That's very, very important. And my last tip, guys, is do not invest in any robot or in any product that has no face to it. If it has no face to it, there's usually a reason. Usually they know it's a ticking time bomb, and it gives them a very, very easy exit that when something goes wrong, they can just disappear and no one absolutely knows what it is. So if you are going to invest in a robot, regardless of what robot is, definitely make sure to invest in one that has people behind it and a real team behind it. And with that being said, guys, this is my honest truth about robots. I think they're amazing, but be very, very careful with which robots that you go for. As I said, you know, it gives me an extra 5 figures every single month alongside my other businesses. So it's definitely an amazing, amazing supplement to my current income. And yeah, with that being said, guys, I appreciate every single one of you for watching all the way through to the end. If you are interested in learning a little bit more about our robot, simply click the link down below to get a little bit more information. And yeah, just make sure you subscribe, like for more of these tip videos. Take care, guys.